All right, everybody, this week we're making filler panels for this. We're gonna get rid of these nasty things, make some nice bead rolled filler plates that fit in there, that match the tubs. It's gonna look great, and then it'll just tie all the engine bay together. So stay tuned, and I'll show you what we're getting into. Hey everybody, this week we are going to be doing some filler panels in here. I did get the tubs back in, I got everything painted. I'll show you that in just a second. But we're gonna be making some filler panels that are currently in here, but they're stock and they don't match anything. So we're gonna get some filler panels made, and I will kind of show you how the process of sizing them, cutting them, getting them bead rolled, and getting them in the truck. But I'll show you real quick. So we did get everything painted, installed, bolted in. I'm waiting on some finishing hardware for the bolt on the outer side where the tub bolts to the fender. But we're gonna be making these filler panels on both sides. We're gonna bead roll them nice, we're gonna paint them nice. We're gonna, once we pull them off, we'll get the core support the rest of the way painted. We'll paint those. But yeah, we're gonna get these filler panels made, and I'll kind of show you my process of how we get those made. All right, so we got the panels off. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna template them out on some cardboard, just so I can roughly bend it up, make sure the fitment's good, and then we'll transfer it to steel, bend it up, and get it on the truck. So I will kind of fast forward through some of this, but we'll get them templated and see if they fit. All right, now that we've got it all laid out, I'll cut it, I'll bend it, and we'll see if it actually fits there, and then we can transfer it over to steel. So I got my template made up. I'm gonna have to split it down here so I can get to that last bolt hole. I'll flatten that out, I'll make a little filler piece, I'll weld that together so that it fits down to the fender and bolts into the fender hole behind there. So it fits into that hole where it flattens out and goes onto the fender. And then also I'm gonna have to create a rectangle here because I cannot bend up to this angle and then change my angle with my brake. So I will have to cut a rectangle out there, weld this seam, finish it out, and we're gonna bead roll some stuff in here. But we have our rough template, and we should be able to transfer that to steel and get it cut out, get the beads laid out on it, and the holes laid out on it, trim it where we need to. We'll probably have to do a little hammer and dolly work over here to get this how I want it, along with a filler piece. The same thing up here. We'll get our filler piece in, hammer and dolly, grinding, finishing, after we get the beads rolled in it and everything. But I will get it laid out on steel, we'll get it cut, and we'll get it bent. So I'm gonna try and use a nice 2 straight edges of this panel to start with, and then I can cut with it so I can line it up, and I can just trace it out. And I should be able to cut my piece from that. And now we'll get it cut out. All right, we now have our sheet cut out and had to hammer and dolly it a little bit just to get it a little bit flatter. But now we can lay out our bend lines so that we can get it bent. So now we'll get our beads laid out. All right, we got our beads laid out, so we're gonna take it over the bead roll and we'll get beads put in it. All right, so we got the bead roller set up. We're gonna put some lines in this thing. and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. So we've got our beads in it, and we will clean up the corners a little bit with a little bit of hammer and dolly work on the beads. But that is our rough panel, and now we can get the brakes in it and get it test fit onto the truck. All right, so we got our piece bent and mocked up in there. I just need to make that top piece now. We can get the holes for bolting down. I need to fill this tiny gap, do a little more hammer and dolly work on that corner, and this panel will be about done. All right, I got my piece cut out for my filler panel here on top. I'm gonna get it tacked in place, and then we will get it welded in. As you can see, I don't have all the super fancy stuff, but it does work. I still need to grind out my edge here, grind out this. I got it dollied out pretty flat, so I can just clean up this edge. It actually fits really well. I'll take it over there and show you. I still need to weld up this part down here, which I will cut a piece for quick, and we will weld that in. All right, we'll go take a look at how it fits, and we can get started on the other side, and then we'll finish them both out at the same time, so I'm not getting all those tools out at the same time or multiple times. But yeah, we'll get this over there. I'll show you how it fits. We'll finish it. We had to sand it, grind it, do some more hammer and dolly work, get it nice and shaped, but it does fit really well. All right, so last night I ended up finishing out this part. Got all the welds cleaned up out of it. A lot of hammer and dolly work to get it smoothed out and clean, but it turned out super nice. So now tonight I will get the other one laid out and bent up, welded up, but we'll do that real quick, and I will show you what we get for the finished product then. Give me a little bit, and I will give you the finished product for both sides being done. All right, so we got them both done. They look awesome. They match really well. They match the tubs really well. It looks goofy because the hood hinge isn't in the center of the truck, but I'm trying to not put any more holes in this and keep it with the original bolt holes, so it ended up being what it was. But yeah, they look great. Ended up coming out awesome. We'll get them painted, we'll get them bolted in. I'll show you guys the finished project probably on the next video, but for now, like, subscribe, and stay tuned because we got a lot more to do.